Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to the Optimistic Survival Series. Today we are picking right back up where we left off in the last episode, and we are going to bring some villagers over into our new villager trading hall. Before we do that though, we are going to look at some of the villager trades, so I will meet all of you at the Minecraft wiki, where we will really narrow in on what we want to stock our halls with. So here we are at the Minecraft wiki. We have all of the villager trades pulled up, and now we can start to scroll through these and make some decisions. So the armorers, I think we will have one armorer just for the sake of having a diamond armor trade, since we want to do a lot of the armor trims with all of that. It will be pretty important that we have a somewhat easy source of diamond armor, because if we are doing every trim pattern on every type of armor, we are going to need a better source of diamonds than the strip mine. So we will have one armorer. Well, I take that back. We might actually want to have a few armorers, since we would only get one leggings or boots and helmet or chest plate. We might try to do the same thing with the chainmail armor as well, since that would really be our best source of that. Other than that, none of these trades are really all that useful to us, so we just want to make sure that we have a full set of chainmail and a full set of diamonds. Moving on with the butcher, the trade that stands out here the most is the sweetberry trade. 10 sweet berries for an emerald. If we set up a very efficient sweetberry farm, it would be great to have a butcher, but there are much more practical methods for getting large quantities of emeralds, so I think we are going to skip the butcher for now. We are also going to skip the cartographer. We can go get the globe banner pattern from one of our already high-level cartographers that we have in a village somewhere to get that. But once we have the globe banner pattern, there isn't really anything we need except the paper trade, but we will have a handful of librarians to do that instead. For the cleric, we will definitely have a few clerics because they trade 32 rotten flesh for an emerald and an emerald for redstone, which is a very, very useful trade. They also have a glowstone trade, and with our gold farm, if we were to ever get enough gold to where we could trade that for emeralds, that is an option for us as well. So I think we will opt for 8 clerics. The farmers are another useful villager for emerald farming, so the pumpkin trade and the melon trade are both very useful to us. Of course, we don't really need to trade with them to purchase anything that they sell, but getting emeralds from pumpkins and melons is a great way to do that, so I think we will go with 4 farmers. Actually, I take that back. We will go with 8 farmers. The fisherman doesn't really offer anything all that great. Of course, the boat trade can be very useful, but that is a lot of work, especially compared to the stick trade with the Fletcher. So we will stick with the sticks instead. I don't think there's anything else we need from the fisherman, so we will skip that. The Fletcher, however, this is probably going to be, aside from the librarian, the villager that we have the most of. 32 sticks for an emerald, and if we have Hero of the Village 5, we could get that all the way down to 14 sticks as we had earlier in this series. So we will have probably 12 to 16 Fletchers depending on how much space we have. We will get all of them in last, that way we can fill up all the empty space with Fletchers. The leather workers will actually be useful to us for not only saddles, but getting a handful of leather armor. That way, again, we can work on our armor trim collection. Aside from that though, they really aren't all that useful, so I think we will go with just enough for the full set of leather armor. And this is the big one, the librarian. We will revisit this in a little bit, just because we have to go through every enchanted book that we are after, but we will definitely have a handful of librarians. We may in fact even bring some of the librarians from our spawn village all the way out to the trading hall. We will just have to see. The mason is a very, very useful villager, and we will have a lot of masons because we can get polished andesite, granite diorite. We can also get quartz and quartz pillars, so they are definitely very useful to us. We can also trade all of our stone variants with them for some emeralds. So I think we will opt for 8 stone masons. And we just have a few left here. The shepherd is a very important one, actually, given how much wool we have. I think we will go with a shepherd for white, brown, black, and gray wool, one of each. After that, we don't really need the shepherd for anything. They mostly just trade dyes for emeralds and paintings, so just 4 of those shepherds. The toolsmith offers some excellent trades, but we really just don't need them. There isn't a point in trading for diamond tools given our current collection of tools. So I think we will skip the toolsmith. And finally, the weaponsmith. Same thing here. We don't really need to trade for a diamond sword or axe, given that we have plenty of librarians and diamonds. We can make our own as we need. But that is all of the villagers. Now that we have our quantities, we can head back into our world and begin transporting them into their place. So all in all, excluding the librarians, we are at about 46 villagers in total. This first floor will definitely be enough to house all of them. Our librarians will either be downstairs or upstairs. That way they can have their own separate area where we can keep all of that organized. So let's design how we want each of these stalls to be. I think what we will do is have our workstation right there. We will of course have a trapdoor placed above the villager, and then we will have some kind of barrier on either side. So when the villagers are standing in here, they are unable to leave. I think what we will also do, just when we are placing in the workstations, is actually have another trapdoor right above that block there, because the villagers would not be able to get through even if that block was missing. They are too tall to be able to fit through that gap, so that would keep them in place. We will then repeat this going all the way down the row here, and we end up with something like this. So that gives us 18 stalls in total on each side. We will have 18 right there as well, which is 36. That just puts us 10 away, and we will have a few more stalls here in the middle as well. So we will definitely have room for all of the villagers that we want to have in here. And then we will have a wall that goes down the middle. We will just line up these spruce planks here on the edge. And I think we will follow the same pattern as we have for the exterior walls. There we go, something like that. And then we will have a few more trading stalls right here. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that is 28 per side, which adds up to a total of 56 here on this first floor. I guess that will give us room for some extra Fletchers, and then again, we will have the librarians upstairs. I think here on the end, we will just leave that open. It might be a really good place for a balcony anyway, overlooking this lower part of the valley. So now it is time to make all of the workstations. We will go ahead and open this up and see what we already have. I think we will have about 4 leather workers, so we will do 4 cauldrons. We said we wanted 8 masons, so we will grab 8 stone cutters. We will grab all of the fletching tables that we have, the lone brewing stand that we have. We will hold off on the lecterns for now, and it looks like everything else, I guess the blast furnace for the armorer, but everything else we will need to make a few more of. Alright, we now have every type of workstation except for the lectern that we are wanting to use for our trading hall. So we will start, I guess we will just start right here with the farmers. We will have 8 of those, and then we can do our blast furnaces. And then I guess we will have our leather workers right there, and we have 2 extra trapdoors. I think we will save those for the Fletchers. And then moving over here, we can start with our stonemasons, the clerics, and then again that leaves us with 2 empty slots. Actually, that is perfect. We can place 2 looms there and 2 right there. They aren't going to be super commonly traded with, so right there at the ends is perfect. And then we can have all of our Fletchers here in the center. I think that has worked out really nicely for us. Next, we need to figure out the dividers, because I think a block of stone bricks is not necessarily ideal for the look. I used fences in my test build, which actually didn't look all that bad. But I think what we might do instead, actually no, I think what we will do is maybe stick with those fences. We don't want to have any blocks here that the villagers can jump over, because I don't want to cover them with a trapdoor. That gets pretty expensive pretty fast going all the way around. So let's go ahead and make a handful of spruce fences, and we can start to place these in, just sticking out 2 blocks like this. Again, it is very simple, but I don't think we need to do anything over the top. But now with all of our villager workstations put into place, it is time to start bringing in our villagers. Of course, the easiest and most effective method is going to be a rail system. So we are going to grab all of those rails, we will need some powered rails, and we will also need some activator rails. That is what will empty out the villagers from the minecart and essentially drop them right into place. So if I recall correctly, the activator rails will empty the villagers on the right hand side. Now, can we place rails on trapdoors? Okay, we can. I was not expecting to be able to do that. So that will make life a lot easier for us. Let's go ahead and fill in between all of these trapdoors. I guess we might use a better placeholder block. We can instant mine stone bricks with the haste, so we will go with that. And I think we will just sort of snake this around. There we go, nothing to it. And then of course our minecart will come through right there, and it will go, we can have it go up maybe a couple blocks shy of where that first unloading platform is. And then we will have our activator rails on top of all of those trapdoors. What I'm hoping doesn't happen is when we power that, I hope it doesn't open up that trapdoor. But let's go get a redstone block just to be sure. I guess we can get it out of our redstone shulker box in here. There we go, and we will just see what happens. Hopefully it stays closed. Excellent. So when they go over that, they will get unloaded on the right hand side, and they should fall right in there. Now, this is not necessarily the most efficient way to do this, because we are going to have to fly back and forth and change this every single time we want to do that. So I think what we will instead do is have a sort of dead end area right back here where we can pile up a handful of villagers, and then once we are ready to go in here, we can do that one at a time and send a villager in one at a time. Now, I don't think activator rails stop minecarts, but I do just want to double check. If they do, that will make this whole process a little bit more tedious. Okay, it looks like they will travel right over. That is perfect. So we will get normal rails placed on all of the stone brick. We will have to go in and add some powered rails. I think we will do a few right on that row, and maybe a few more here. There we go, and we will need to make about 50 more activator rails. Alright, we are just a few rails short, but we will do these ones at the very end. So now we need to power these activator rails, but we will do that, I think, one at a time when it's time to bring them in. And then, of course, get our powered rails into place. And we can simply power those with a lever. There we go. And hopefully that will be enough power to get them all the way down the row. If it isn't, we can always give them a little nudge. And the other half of this whole process is getting the villagers from the villager breeder all the way over here on this side of town down to the town center. So we already have a few rails started right here. I think we will just sort of take the most direct route. It might be easiest if we cut right down here, maybe go through the sheep farm right here next to the animals, and then we can go out here and just kind of follow this path all the way until we reach the front doors. Luckily, it is mostly downhill, so we shouldn't need too many powered rails here. And once they reach the end, we will just have some kind of mechanism that brings them to a halt. Alright, the tracks are all in place. I decided to just follow the path pretty much the whole way there. So far, I don't have any powered rails placed down. We will probably need a few right here going along the barn. But again, like I said, for the most part, it is pretty downhill. There isn't actually a single place where it goes uphill, so we shouldn't need too many powered rails. Here at the end, we will have a series of unpowered powered rails. That way the villagers will get caught right here and they won't go any farther. So we are going to send our first villager down to the trading hall just to see where we might need some powered rails, and then we will fill those in and go from there. So let's press the button. It should dispense a minecart, and we will just follow him all the way down there. I expect that right here he will start to slow down, although he is carrying quite a bit of momentum. Is he gonna make it on no powered rails at all? He is. Look at that. I was not expecting that at all, and he was really moving there as well. So that is definitely nice to know, and it makes me feel better about in here when we go to power these rails right there and they go all the way around. So that is the first villager. I'm worried what's gonna happen is when we send more, they're just gonna bounce back and forth, but they shouldn't go too far actually, considering there's no powered rails and we have a little slope right there. So we are just gonna send a few more and see what the heck happens. And we'll dispense another one every time they make that turn right up there. We should have a full set of minecarts in here. I think there might be a few more in the hopper as well. We can add that one in there. And we will just send maybe about 10. And again, they shouldn't get off of the rails because of all of those powered rails that we have turned off down there that should prevent them from derailing. They're just going to be bouncing back and forth off of each other. So let's fly down there now and see what is happening. Yep, just as I suspected, although they actually have made it a pretty good ways. And it seems that one of the villagers has become a fisherman. We must have had a barrel along the way. Yes, right by the cow farm. So they're just gonna kind of settle in right here, although they aren't supposed to be making it this far away. He's not gonna be able to get up that, is he? Nope, it doesn't look like it. So they will just kind of do their thing. But this is sort of what I wanted to have happen, because now we don't have to fly all the way back to the breeder to get them into place. So let's go ahead and connect these rails right here, and we can just send one villager at a time. We do need to power our activator rails, and we can either start at the far end or right here with the composters, and I think we will begin right here and work our way down the line. So let's go ahead and test this out and see how it goes. When we push this villager, I think we may want to power these rails right here. We will delicately push that villager. He should get unloaded. Uh-oh, that was not supposed to happen. And I don't want him to escape out there. He's gonna get stuck on this rail. Hopefully the villagers don't see that. I know sometimes when they notice that, it can cause a lot of issues. But trial and error is what this is all about. So I think what we may end up doing, maybe it was just that rail specifically because of the turn and all. So let's go ahead and try this one, and if that doesn't work, we will have to figure out something else. So we will send him up in this direction. And yes, he is landing on the rail before. No, don't go out there. Again, hopefully they did not see that. That would not be good for our trading prices. So they are landing on the rail before. What we may end up doing then is placing glass on all of these rails. Maybe that will prevent them from landing on top. I think we will also put some glass here. That way, if they do manage to get away from their enclosure, they don't get out of the trading hall itself. So if we place a row of glass on top of these rails right here, they shouldn't be able to stand on top of it, and I'm hoping that when the minecart ejects them, it will eject them to the right. Again, all trial and error with this. So let's send him in, and that ejected him to the left that time. It may only eject them if they have a block that they can stand on. So what I'm gonna try instead, we will get rid of this glass, and we will try putting a trapdoor right there, and we will put a couple of glass there on either side. Now, mobs don't like to cross the tracks, so they shouldn't hop up on there if they do get ejected to the right-hand side. Once again, let's give this a shot. The fisherman, well, I guess we can just test this out with him. And here we go. Let's see if that works. Yes, there we go. All right, and then we can just close the trapdoor, and eventually he should just fall into place, or we can nudge him, and then we can go ahead and remove that trapdoor. And there we go, the villager is now into place. So it looks like that is how we will have to do that. I'm wondering if we even need the glass though, so let's go ahead and try. Well, we probably should place that down, that way they don't try to wander off to the side. So I'm gonna go through here and place down all of these trapdoors, get the glass into place, and then we can really get this whole operation underway. And as for this fisherman right here, he should eventually turn into a farmer. I'm still a little bit worried about what's gonna happen with the villager on the corner here, but it should work out. Yes, there we go. Uh-oh, okay, I see what happened here. I think we are also going to want to have glass placed on top of all of the rails. And I know this is probably not the most efficient way to be doing this, but I think once we get it going, it will go. But this stubborn villager here doesn't want to go. There we go. All right, perfect. Finally, we'll remove that trapdoor, remove all of this glass, and we have our first farmer villager into place. So let's get a row of glass put down on here that will prevent them from being able to escape should that happen again. And this has got to be the one, right? We have spent so much time with this, just trial and error. This should be the one that finally works flawlessly. So let's get in here as that villager makes his way in, and uh-oh, I forgot to power the activator rail, so I guess he is just going to go around. Once he gets to that one, though, it should empty him off. There we go. All right. Just what we want to have happen. We close the trapdoor, and there we have it. A farmer in his little cubicle. So let's go ahead and get redstone blocks placed down onto all of these activator rails. And as we send our villagers in, we can destroy each block as we need to. And here we go again with another villager. Uh-oh. Oh, we accidentally destroyed one of the rails. Shouldn't be a problem though. There we go. Let's close that trapdoor, and eventually we will get another farmer. Maybe we will just break the trapdoor. He'll decide eventually. But that is the process of all of this, so now that you've seen it, I'm gonna go ahead and load up all of our villagers, get them into place, and pretty soon we will have a fully functional trading hall. See all of you very soon. Well, things are certainly coming along quite nicely, but we have actually run out of villagers at the villager breeder. I thought that we had a lot more than we actually did, but while we wait for them to replenish, we will begin work on the roof. We have completed the first 2 rows, so we have all of our farmers, armor smiths, a couple of our looms, and the Fletchers are starting to fill in quite nicely. We have one over on this side. So a few more villagers to go. We are about halfway there. In the meantime, let's get started on this roof, since it won't really be in the way of this whole delivery mechanism, which, by the way, I have ironed out all the kinks, and things are working out quite nicely for us. I really have a nice system going. So for the roof, we are outlining it with stone bricks. I can actually probably get rid of that glass. We are doing a stone brick outline with mangrove planks. I think we've used mangrove planks on a roof before. Let's fly up and have a look. Have we used them anywhere? Obviously, we used a lot in the storage building. I don't think we have, actually. I'm probably thinking of the storage building that did use a lot of mangrove, just not any planks. But these planks will have a great look. It will kind of tie in with our smelting facility right over there. Oh, we have used them. Okay. Just a small workshop over there in the lumber yard, but we have used mangrove planks before. And the roof is not going to be just one single design. It's going to have some nice elements sprinkled in as well. And the outline is actually completely made up of stone brick stairs. Actually, we do have a few blocks, but primarily stairs. So let's hop up here. I guess I could grab some scaffolding, or we could just fly up here. That might be easier for us. And we will begin with this front entrance roof, which is a little bit different. So we will have stairs going across right here, and these will stick out one block. We may end up removing that log there. We will just see what we decide. And these stairs are just going to be upside down and right side up, alternating until we get to the middle. And here in the middle, upside down and right side up one more time. There we go, nothing to it. It actually is a basic roof shape. We just add in a few extra details. And I think we will go ahead and remove these two logs right here and replace those with some upside down stairs. That way we get that nice pattern going all the way through. And I think we will grab out some scaffolding after all. And then here in this wall right here, we are going to have our spruce logs extending up to the top, just like that. And we will fill in the gaps with our brown mushrooms. There we go, so we can fly down here, and from the front we can see it has a very inviting look to it. We will do all of our lighting and things like that at the very end. For now, I'm really liking how this is coming together. Although, I'm realizing maybe we should run through here and place down some torches, because while large zombies cannot get through to the villagers, the baby zombies can, however. So we want to make sure that that is all lit up. There we go, they should be protected now. And we are actually going to follow the same pattern one more time on the outside. Of course, this time that triangle will be much larger. And we do have a zombie right down here. That is not good. I should probably go sleep. And when we step back from this, we will see again that same triangle, just a little bit larger. The wall will also follow the same pattern, so we will have our spruce logs going up right here. We will also have them going across the middle, and then we will have a few more sideways logs right here. That way we get that nice support pattern going. We will fill in these gaps with our brown mushrooms. And now all we have left for the front is to fill in the mangrove stairs. And I would say that looks pretty good. It has a very cozy feel to it. So now we are going to do that same thing on the big roof right there, but this is where we are going to break up this pattern just a little bit. So we will still have our stone brick stairs here at the bottom, and right there, we will turn them. We are going to have a large dormer right here. We are also going to have one on this side, so it will be sort of symmetrical. And this will follow our other common roof pattern of the block, right side up stair, upside down stair. Oops, didn't mean to do that. The block right side up, upside down stair, and we will do this all the way until we get to the top middle. And once we get to the middle, upside down and a right side up stair. And if we fly over to the roof on our house, we will get a good view of this dormer. Again, we will have one more on that side as well, and it will help to break up this very large roof. Similar to the front, we will have our spruce logs extending up. We will have some sideways logs right here for those supports. And we will also have that log extend out, again, for those supports. We may carve in some windows when we go to do the upstairs of this, but for now, we are just going to leave it as is. And from the side, it looks like that, so obviously it definitely does need some windows, but we will carve those based on how the interior comes together. So we will have one more of these dormers right here, and the rest of it will just be basic stone brick stairs. I don't know if we can quite reach that. I think we can if we get the right angle on it. I'm gonna have to wreck all of those. That was a disaster. But once we get the rest of that outlined and the second dormer put in place, we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side as well. Then we can start to fill in the rest of the mangrove, and the roof on this will be finished. And now with both dormers put into place, that is how things are looking. I haven't done the other side quite yet. I need to get a few more stone bricks, but once I have those, then we can finish up that side. I think for now though, we will get the mangrove roof put on the right hand side of the build. That way we can see it from a sort of finished angle. So it will be a combination of stairs and blocks. We have done this pattern before. I forget where, but I know that we have. And of course these stairs right here will just turn into those. We will have a few more blocks extending out right there, and another row of stairs, and this pattern will continue all the way to the top. And that is one section finished. It is looking really good. I think the red with the brown provides great contrast, and I think this build is coming together quite nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up these two sections right here, and then I will report back, and then we should be able to just do that exact same thing on this side of the roof. We will go in and put in the second floor / first floor ceiling, and then hopefully by then we will have enough villagers to finish up the trading hall. And there we have it. That is one side complete, and we can come right down here and get a really great view of this build. Again, I'm so happy with how this one came together. It is already becoming one of my new favorites. I really like the brown mushrooms, and from the inside, well, definitely half finished. I need to chop down a few more mangrove trees to finish this side of the roof, but I think right now we will go ahead and get the ceiling put into place. I think it would actually be quite fitting and pretty cozy to use some spruce planks for that, so that is what we are going to go with. So we will hop right up here, and these will be at the same level as the sideways logs. So the ceiling on the first floor will be 4 blocks tall. That will also allow us room for the villagers to get all the way through. Well, I'm certainly gonna have to do a lot of tree farming between now and next episode, because this is a very demanding build. We have run out of spruce, oak, and mangrove, and those are 3 of my favorite wood types to build with. So again, I will definitely be very busy with that, but the ceiling inside is just about finished. Again, I need to go grab a little bit more spruce. I don't think I have any in here, just some slabs. I do have 1 more stack of mangrove logs, but we started with about 4 stacks, so we will only be able to complete a tiny section. But I'm gonna go get the rest of the wood that we need to finish this up, and we are just about ready to call this build complete. I will meet all of you back here once the roof and walls are 100%, and again, hopefully by then, our villagers should be replenished. See all of you soon. Well, there we have it, the almost completely finished trading hall. Of course, all we really have left to do is get the villagers put into place. The ceiling / second floor is all filled in. All of the roof and exterior walls are also complete, and we can fly around to the valley side and get a pretty good view of this from up here. as well. I really like how this has come together. It definitely matches with the rest of the buildings that we have here in the valley, and I hope all of you like it as much as I do. I will have a tutorial coming for this in the next week or so stay tuned for that. But for now, that is where we are going to end things for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. In the next episode, we will hopefully have a fully stocked trading hall. I will continue to chauffeur the villagers into their place. If not, though, we have some other plans that I want to cross off our to-do list, and we will revisit this at a later date to do some more trading. Again, if you enjoyed the episode, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!